4, I would go with 5 and at least 7 for anything over 500 feet. Five would be a half a mile, basically. A little less.
Never seen setbacks that far.
Well, there are setbacks that far, they're not in the old towns.
Where there's windmills.
You know, like from that turbine to Jason's,
Yes.
you know, you're at 50, you know, so that's three times.
And that's pretty much,
You're saying 5.
that's pretty much, you know, not
Right.
level, but it's
Yeah,
within sight, you
Right.
know, I mean,
yeah.
I never heard any complaints there, but, it is closer to the road there than it is to the residents. Once in a while, I notice here, Big Road, you can see a little vicar come across that road, I mean, certain times of day.
I see that flicker in the afternoon when I'm driving that road.
You know, coming.
Well, see,
coming right
I don't, the road thing doesn't bother me, other than the safety aspect, because it's such a short,
Right.
and it, you know, it's not like you're living with it. You might drive by it, but
Right.
I don't really have a problem with the setbacks and roads at all.
But I think it's the residents deal, and I don't know, like I say, we don't know for sure how much this is gonna affect either, you know. It may affect a good share of them. Is there any way we could put that, you know, something in there, to the residents that is more restrictive, and then, I don't know how you do it, but.
Well, if you want, are you asking like if there's a natural barrier, if you can lessen the distance?
Yeah, I mean, if there's a hill
Yeah, I
in
could,
between,
I
or.
could put language in there on, you
I
know.
don't,
say-
can you, if you do that, do you make them all negotiable then? Is that what you,
I don't know what it would do.
yeah, that's what I.
I don't have, cause
To make
you
it
know,
more
I don't have a
complicated.
magic bullet on a lot
Yeah,
of
which
stuff.
maybe, I'm not sure if that's bad or.
Well, I mean,
The other thing is too, you think about, they still have the option to make non-participants participants too. If they can locate one and they, you know, they do their, what do they call it, good neighbor agreement or whatever, they still have that option too.
Well, that's basically what they'd be doing.
yeah, but I think you still wanna base your decision on, you know, what you think is reasonable with the criteria, and then.
Yeah, I agree.
Because otherwise, that's just the right standard, is what's a reasonable distance, and then, because if you say that they can always get a deal, well, they may be able to,
Yeah,
there
or
may just
not.
be someone who hates turbines,
Yeah,
and
they
it's
could
like, I'm
stymie the whole
too
thing,
bad,
yeah.
yeah, you know,
Bunch.
because it only takes one within any that's within a setback that just says, look, don't go away, go away. You know?
And again, though, but if we put it in a law at a certain distance, is anybody gonna be able to negotiate something less, realistically?
Well,
If-
if it's in your law, I think the town has a difficult time taking a position that they can allow it to be less if it's in the law, because you're going against your law, but
But the same thing could happen if there's one person in that.
you could take a position that you
They say
don't
no.
argue, you know, if they are gonna, you know, police all the time don't pull people over for going 67 and
Right.
65. Yeah, that's different than the policeman, you know, saying, hey,
Yeah.
good job. But, you've got, you know, if what you're asking, Jack, is, and kind of following up on it, is there some language you could put in there? Yeah, it would be bulky, but you could say something like, you know, the turbine is X, the setback is X, unless there's a natural or, you know, I don't know how big of a barrier you want a hill that's
Well,
impermeable, or
that's how far-
forest that makes it so you can't see
Hard to
through it?
define that, I
Yeah,
understand.
as long as it meets the flicker and the sound requirements, I think it's strictly a visual thing at that point, wouldn't it be? Or, I mean, if you could put some language that,
But how much do you wanna block?
Yeah.
Do you wanna, because there's a lot of them that you might, or I shouldn't say a lot of them. There could be a very real scenario where you don't see something in the summer with the leaves on, and then with the leaves off, you know, you see through the woods and
yeah.
you
Well,
see it.
I thought of, I mean, earlier, I was thinking, again, if they met the visual and the sound requirements, and no non-participant can see more than 500 feet of a 650-foot one, then should that would qualify for a lesser setback, in my mind, but.
I don't know, you just mentioned the non-participating. If he's willing to be a participating landlord, then do you allow that? I mean, we did before, right?
I don't know why we wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's, if they're participating, then that's, I think, a much different issue.
Right, yeah, I mean, I guess it's not even a question of law then, if they're a participant, they don't,
Yeah, we've got
they're
it.
not under that
That's what I mean,
category.
they're not
Yeah,
bound to that
Right,
setback.
right.
If they're, decide to be a
They
participant.
could do whatever they want up to the safety limits, I guess. Yeah, it's sticky. But I just don't wanna be in a position of allow, you know, just, okay, go ahead and do it, when all the literature I've seen says it should be considerably more than actually what the state is requiring at this point. So,
For a 650.
for any of them.
For any of them.
I mean, the state rip is 2.2, right? That's
States two.
2, okay, they're not even that much.
The 2.2 was, you know,
Yeah,
something I had
So if-
from talking to.
so they could be within 1,000 feet of view with that one there, if we were
Right.
going under this thing. That's,
Yeah. I'm thinking, you know, with a 1,500 or a 500 footer, I wouldn't want it to be within 1,500 feet. Now, I mean, like you said, city bills is just under 1,300, but
Yeah.
once again, the way the hill is, I mean,
it's hard to
closer to be all right.
put all those
Yeah, there's a
mitigating
lot.
factors
Yeah.
into the law.
Yes, but there again, if they,
But then again, if somebody else maybe is deciding on the mitigating too, but at least if we have a position of, okay, it's gotta, this is what we want, unless you can somehow convince
Mhm.
the powers that be to issue the permit to do it different.
Yeah, I mean, one thing okay, so if you try and do like a hybrid, which is, you know, mitigating factors, what would mitigating factors be? Well, they would be, is something blocking it? It would be one way of doing it, and the other way is how much, like what percentage of the turbine do you see? I mean, I don't know a lot of other, you know, things to take into account other than how much of the turbine is basically blocked from a point of view, but that's,
well, maybe if you set that where you want it, then let the, you know, the company and landowners figure it out, whether they wanna be participating and let them turn it up, or. I don't know.
I'm really surprised, I guess, that well, what is it now, 94 or whatever, that the state is, with all the literature that says the setbacks should be more, they're basically saying that these things are visually overpowering at these kinds of setbacks, yet they're, well, the prevailing sentiment seems to be that we wanna get these things
Yeah, but
out
it's
there and
also,
built and permitted.
well, it's not just that, they say that the majority of the scientific community says that it's not, but there's a lot of people who say that it is.
I didn't see a lot that said it wasn't.
Well, that's what, just,
Maybe I'm
take a
looking
look
at
at the,
Wrong place,
well, I'm saying, look at what, look at what the judges are saying, what the people are saying in their testimony, and that's, that's what they're saying, is that the studies show that it is that way, and I get it, I've seen the same, stuff that talks about further, but, it's also difficult to find a lot of the peer reviewed literature on it,
Yeah.
and there's paywalls behind all of it, and like, that one, I looked at the one lot, and I think that was 4 times rotor, on, that, down Tullywood, no, not Tullywood.
Litchfield? That one?
Litchfield, yeah.
I thought that was like 10 times the rotor for
I don't think so.
non-participants.
I don't think it was,
It was, I thought that was real high. Wrote it down somewhere, but I probably can't find it.
You guys got that figured out, you
The wind turbine handbook. Like Burton there, that one says they recommended 10 times the rotor diameter.
What's the rotor size, 650?
I just guessed it, it's probably 30, 40 feet shorter than the total height. The 650 is to the top of the blade,
Right, it is
Okay.
and
10.
however far is off the ground is, you subtract that from it, so.
It is
still
10
talking.
rotor.
Is it, yeah, I thought
It was 4
for-
turbine heights from
Okay,
on-site residents.
Yeah, non-participating was 10.4 was from a participating residence. They-
And that was actually turbine height, not Roman.
For that, yeah, it was odd that they switched the
And then
measurements there.
and then the distance from the highway was 1.5 times the sum of the hub height plus.
You know, that really got weird. Yeah. So, I mean, we gotta go through a hearing process, right, for whatever we propose for the law.
No, you guys know what to do.
I think
You need to.
Town board
Town
has
board
to,
vote,
yeah.
I
Yeah,
thought
that's
you
what I
meant the
mean.
planning board.
So if we decide on something, I mean, it's a suggestion at this point.
Right.
Yeah, the board can vote on it.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably fair to point out to them, whatever we decide here, what the implications might be for,
Oh, yeah, I'll go through it, I'll go back through everything.
yeah.
I hope I don't have as many meetings with them, but. No offense. I don't know, do you know whose book this is that I have?
I think it was mine.
Okay.
I was looking for the look through and I couldn't find it, so I think that's what
We can get you one for $10.
Yeah, I'd like to get one.
I think there's a supply of
Should
them
be,
somewhere
yeah,
there.
I think there's.
I don't know where it is.
Right there in the cabins or the town clerk.
Yeah, Rhonda probably got them. So she can get you one.
So what did you decide? Gotta give you all of that.
there's anything else in the
Yeah.
law that there's a issue with, it's just the setback. I'm assuming we're not worried about setting a height limit, it's just gonna be regulated by,
Oh, there is a height limit in
Yeah,
here.
650.
650.
Yeah, which is okay.
which is okay, yeah, I guess it doesn't. You still, your setbacks will still regulate that.
I mean, I don't. Do we need to, whatever the final product is, do we need a resolution to present that to the board, or?
That's what I was thinking.
Well, her,
Yeah.
probably usually the way to go. Yeah, cause you need a, actually, how many of you are on, you got 6 of you on the board? So you probably all 4 of you need to agree on what you're, what you're gonna present.
Yeah.
Well, we need to agree first then, as on what that number two needs to be there.
So I was gonna ask if 3 and 6 are not an issue, would they wanna be left with as they are, or are they gonna be adjusted according to what we put in number 2?
No, I think they're going to kind of agree. I think a big question is that number two.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing 3 and 6 both at something like 2 instead of where they are.
Yeah,
Especially,
I can go with,
especially number 3. It's close.
at least 1.5.
6 is at 1.5 right there.
Yeah, 6 would be a little bit more.
So 2 would there.
1.5 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, we got some momentum here.
You might get to go home tonight.
Okay,
Go one more blank.
three is at 1.5 and
Yeah.
6 is at 2.0. Okay, we're above 2.
And that's the one that gets. We like to see at least 3 up to 500, but once you get over that 500, then you say, I don't know, we can word it that it's,
You can have the.
Or you just-
Put it in there.
So
we said what 3 was, 3
Three
was gonna be,
up to 500 and then
it's 2,000 feet basically, which is,
Yeah, but it's only 1,500 feet for a 500 foot.
yeah.
That's closer than you are right now to that one.
Yeah.
You willing to live with that?
Yeah, that little bit isn't gonna, in my situation.
Yeah.
I look at some of these other ones that are less, 1,300 on that one, stuff like that, that they're already there.
If you guys,
depends on how many.
do you want me to draft into the findings that basically, you're concerned that not having seen the 650 footers cited, about what particularly the visual impact of that will be absent,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, we heard, might help to explain why we set the
To
setbacks
make
where we
it
did.
more preferential for the 500s and.
We were living at 3 and then over 500 go to 5 or?
Yeah, it's over the 500 is the,
That's what I was thinking of 3 or 3 and 5, you know, so.
What do you think, Jim?
it's 4, it's 2,600, that's half of mine right there at 4. So we go over that, which is,
How about 4 and 6?